Hi all, this is your girl Natasha, and my tea kettle has brewed over. My, how it's brewed over. Excuse the voice, I think I have a little laryngitis. I've been screaming and talking and gossiping all day. But anyway, I'm not serving crumpets or Lorna Doones or Milano cookies. No, I'm not serving them today. And the reason for that being is because I have a message. So I'm not having my regular tea party. I'm very disturbed about what I've heard lately. That I believe is just a whole bunch of foo-foo. And for those of you who don't know, when I use the word foo-foo, I'm meaning it's a bunch of shit, junk, garbage, mess, whatever you want to call it. So I say foo-foo. Now, that being said, the reason why I say the latest news is a bunch of foo-foo, and after a while it gets old. And of course, you all know I'm getting ready to talk about that basketball player, Dwight Howard, and that hideous queen, Mason, whatever. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. Mason. Now, let me say this. Mason has, and I've heard the receipts, saw the receipts. Mason has come out and said that he is a gay man. So therefore, he said he's a gay man, he's not trans. So therefore, he will be he to me. He's a he. Because he came out and said he's a gay man. He even said, he says, look, I don't have any breasts. He was got up and posed. Showed his body. I don't have any breasts. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm a gay man. I just like to get in them. That's another term for, I'm from the older generation, bear with me. So when I say he likes to get in them, I'm meaning female clothing. So, he just said he likes to get in them and get a weave and all of that. But you know, I find it very interesting. Because if you're a gay man and you like to get into these women's clothing, is it for a reason? Is it to please someone? Or are you just getting in them for a few hours or a few days or however long you feel like playing that you're a woman when you're really a gay man? That's a question I'd love to ask Mason. And then second of all, Dwight. Dwight. And by the way, I love the name Dwight. I always have. Dwight, how could you be so foolish, allegedly, to go along with this shenanigan with this young child that you could obviously see she was unstable? And I hate name calling, but I'm sorry. Miss Tasha's not going to be two-faced and cut off this camera and start calling her, crazy and she's a lunatic. I'm going to call it what it is in front of y'all. And this child, she looks like she's off her rocker. And I hate to really, call names and classify people, but she really looks like a lowlife. Excuse me, but that's what it is. And I really find it hard, since Dwight likes gay men, queens, that this would be the type he would want. But everybody has their likes, their preferences. You can't really knock it. But I just don't understand how he couldn't feel that this was trouble, allegedly, messing with this child. He looked like trouble, Mason. He talked like some ghetto child that will let you have it. And when he pulled out that book, talking about God knows what, exposing other men or whatever, I don't want to read that mess. And I'll tell you why. For what? I'm a woman of a particular age. I know how the game goes. And I know that the game he's playing is very dangerous. But then again, I question that pastor's motive. Was that pastor involved with him? And if that pastor is, it's a shame. You know why? Because that pastor's too old and looks seasoned to be acting silly, threatening a little young gay boy. But oh well, Dwight must really have something they all love. And who's to say Dwight is taking it, is the bottom all the time. You see, sometimes people will say things. In this case, when it's a man of certain stature with money, people might say anything to bring him down. He might not necessarily be a bottom. They lie. If there are receipts of sexual performance in the bedroom, then you could actually say that he is a bottom. She's already lied about, that trans woman has already lied about, that boy who gets up in women's clothing has already said he is gay. But he had people thinking he was transgender. Who's to say he's not lying on Dwight? And those tapes that I heard. You know, I was told by one of my friends, you can alter voices and talk to someone and have those voices like altered that and sound like it's him. And the way she was saying Dwight as if they were in such a relationship and asking him questions. I can't see a man of that stature and basketball player being so humble with her. I would have thought he would have said, bitch, get the fuck out of here before I bust your grill. That's what I pictured. Regardless of what she had on him, because she didn't have actual in the sex acts pictures. If she was fierce, that's what she would have done. Because anybody can lie and say they do this and that in the bedroom. So that's why I find her story. Oh, child, please. I keep saying her, but in the LGBT community, sometimes we call gay queens, gay feminine queens, she, so bear with me. So, like I was saying, I just don't understand it. What is the big deal? First, we had Young Buck and Lady Perfect trying to convince me that she was this only woman without hormones. And me and her went through it. And then now here we have Mason trying to play in our faces like Dwight did this, Dwight did that. Now, what was really embarrassing and telling is when she said he sent her $604 or $40 to do a weave. Girl, a man that makes money hand over fist, that's all he sent you? It should have been an undisclosed amount that he sent you. $600 just to get your weed. No extra grand to do this or that. Dear, you're embarrassing. You embarrassed yourself. $640 allegedly, or $604 to do your weed. So you know what? It makes me wonder. Did he tell you to dress up a woman like that for him? For his pleasure? Because sometimes I'm an old girl. Sometimes men can accept a gay queen if she's up in drags looking like a woman. They can accept themselves better because they have the illusion that, oh, this was a woman. But then it steps on the transgender women's toes, such as myself, who are transgender. And there's no bullshit about it. I mean, we are making strides with society, movies. We have the Janet Mox, T.S. Madison, all those different girls. And that's just to name a few. That we are slowly starting to be on the forefront. And then when you have caca, foo-foo stuff, like this Mason little boy that wants to play in our face, it throws us back. Because all society will hear, when they hear this story, it's gays. Oh, them gays. Okay. And when if you're a trans woman, if you're still having sex with this guy, and you know what it is, you know he's all around the world. Very Lisa Stansfield. He's been all around the world. He's fooling around. He has whatever he desires in every corner of the world that he features when he gets there. And then you young bitches think biological, even the younger trans women and the little gay boys, you start to develop feelings for this man. And you really think that he's going to drop you and you're going to be the one. Stop being delusional. Because when you dealing with him, I'm sure he tells you what the deal is. But you think you're this only fabulous one that can turn him and change his mind. No, my darling. Vagina, cock, behind, whatever, comes in all different shapes and sizes. And it's plenty to choose from. So never think you are the only one, or you're this fab one, or he's going to fall for you. Because he has many choices. And sometimes he may like them all, and sometimes he may chop a few. And if you get chopped, your feelings are hurt, and you're ready to make up a piece of book that I couldn't probably even read 2 lines before I put the book down. Miss Mason's alleged writing. Come on. And then she disposing Dwight like that. It was clear in her voice that she gagged because being a young queen, most of the time the younger girls feel that way, and not knocking them. It's a learning experience. I was there once. You think that he's going to fall for you. You're the only one. You can turn him. And then when you find out that that's not so, including women, biological women, trans women, and queens. And especially queens, I say, because they feel the ultimate if they can snatch a straight man, or so they think. I'm giving you a lesson about queens. and gay men, some gay men, how they act. Don't judge and get in the comments reading me, gay men. I'm not bashing you guys at all. I'm bashing the ones who play in our faces like Mason, calling herself jumping back in and out. Who knows? Dwight could have her, like I said, dress up as a woman for him. And who's to say, is he really a bottom? She could just be saying that because she's vengeful. She looks like a very vengeful bitch. And when I saw him, I saw it was not a moan in his body. That's no trans woman. She's in him because she's feeling fab. And she's exploiting being a transgender when she's really not. And like I said, I'm very passionate about us trans women. So when we have somebody in there, when we have someone playing trans and they're really not, it sets us back. Yeah, we can be successful, but the point is society. These young children have come through and they don't get the game. You shut your mouth. Like I said, if I ever met a celebrity, you would never know I had him. I'd have all the coins and wouldn't breathe a word. Like that Andrew Corwell. My boss did a topic on Andrew Cadwell. But the bottom line was with Andrew Cadwell that no one fails to realize is that, and I'm not coming for my boss lady in any way, her the call-in people that called in, their advice was their thoughts were just what their thoughts were. Everybody has their opinion. So it's not being vicious. But Andrew Cadwell probably had a crush on Cordell and made up this story because we all know he has issues, and it wasn't true. So I'm saying that's a prime example. You can't believe everything you hear. And if you're smart enough, if you happen to meet a man of means, notoriety, and he wants to get with you, just make sure you know it is what it is. It's a business deal. Hand me my coins and moving on. And the most I would say is, well, if you're ever in the town again and you want some action, you have my number. Take care. But at least I would have had some coins. I mean some coins. Not $604 to get a hair done or weave done. No, honey, some coins that it would be nice coins that I wouldn't even disclose. So that's why when I see these things about Dwight Howard and all that, I didn't get upset. Not at all. I'm like, it's so many factors to that. The queen, the pastor, who knows what's really going on? Men are going to do what they want to do. Honey, men's penis controls them. That other head controls them, honey. And once we all learn that, women's and some young trans women coming up and gay boys like Mason, once we all learn that men think with their other head than the head on the top of their head, the better off that we will be. And once we make a decision, we know what position we're in, so play it and milk it for all it's worth. Exposing him only chops your coins, and hope have you fearing for your life like Mason. Hopefully it's not true, but that pastor seems to be a bit determined to get a hold of you. And like I said, if he's messing with the pastor, so what? Who cares? That's OT. We're getting ready to go into 2019. Things have changed. But I just want to say, I wish some of you gay men would stop using transgender to cover up your shit. When you get in your shit, admit you are a gay man. You're not a transgender woman. Don't let it go all that far in all these videos and all these coverages about Dwight gets caught with a trans woman. And you're no more bit a trans woman than that refrigerator I'm looking at. Please, that's what irks me. As an advocate and as passionate to enlighten the audience and not shove it down their throats, but explain to them, and if they want to accept it, they accept it. But they know better. They know not to misgender me and how I want to be, what I want to be called. So you can't say I haven't warned you. If you misgender me and I throw you shade, you can't get upset because I told you. But anyway, my loves, we will see how this story plays